Hello everyone, new one today. I'm going to be not showing my face, which is going to help massively, mainly because I've gone back on everything I said the last couple of weeks. If you watched my last video, why I had the 4 weeks off. Since then, I've managed to scrape together a lot of stuff that I wanted to post, the drone video and fun stuff. So it was on my books to post that, but it's been a bit longer than I wanted to do to show my face. But this is better than not showing my face, and it was something I wanted to do, and it actually works quite well with what happened this week. So I've always wanted to start doing videos when you don't need to see my face. I'm just going to put the pictures on the screen, and I'm going to talk through every photo, what I was thinking at the time, exactly what happened in that moment from a documentary photographer's view. I'll go through basic settings. I don't really want to be going through all the technical stuff. I'll add a little bit, because some people do like that, but it's more about the vision, how I place myself, in terms of where to position myself and the camera high or low, things like that. And it works very well this week because I've just won a story award for This Is Reportage for an entry I made. Absolutely over the moon about. They're so hard to win, and I think this month 15 photographers won, including myself, and over 10,000 images are entered. So you can do the math yourself. You can see how hard it is. So they have 5 judges, and you have to get a tick from every judge. So I would imagine before, I don't know, if you don't win, you don't see anything. So, before I've entered this story a few times, didn't win, and it might have got 4 ticks out of 5, but you don't win. So it's bloody hard. So I'm really, really over the moon that I won. And I thought this would be perfect to do my first talking for each photo, everything about the photo. So let's have a look at them. So this first photo is just from your basic bridal prep. Literally the Matilda's just got her to put her dress on. Obviously I've left the room, so she could do all that, and I've come in just seeing all the last prep and stuff of all her friends and the makeup and hair artist. So all of these photos that I'm going to show, apart from one, so there's 20 images. You can enter 15 to 20 images of a story. I've entered 20 from the same wedding. They're all, apart from one, and I'll tell you what one is, and you'll be able to see from what one it is. They're all on 35mm, fixed 35mm lens, Fujifilm X100V. So this photo here, I'm obviously, as you can see, it's with a 35mm. I'm shooting at f2.5 shutter speed. I shoot at aperture priority, so it's always, I would imagine, I haven't got the details in front of me, but it's at 200th of a second because I'm in low light in a dark room, just relying on that little bit of window light you can see in the back there. So a lot of the photos I would have been the other side of the room shooting with the window light behind me to work with the light. But when I'm shooting against the light, it's sometimes you get some really nice shots, silhouette shot or a half silhouette shot. In this case, I love the fact that the light is just hitting the side of her face, and her veil. That's the main part of this shot. The shot, the whole meaning behind this photo is it goes with the whole. I don't do any putting dresses up at the window like the typical, traditional, stereotypical wedding photos. I don't do any of that. I don't put shoes at the window, dresses at the window, because it's boring. I think it looks rubbish personally, and everyone does it. If I'm going to get details of the dress, I want it in action live. Like if you're watching a film, you'll see, you might not notice details in a film, but they're there in front of you if you actually pay attention. But so the framing of this photo, it was all purposely using the rule of thirds. Matilda's right in front of me. I'm really close to her. She's in focus, and it's her mum in the background that's watching her. I've got another photo where I'm focused on her mum, and you can see her smiling. You can't really see that she's smiling because she's not in focus. But this is one I entered as part of the story. I just thought it was a really nice opening image. The black and white worked really well. Really close up, 35mm. Filled the frame with Matilda at the front, rule of thirds, and her mum in the back. Black and white worked well to really showcase the veil details. Bit of a dress. You can see that it's a sleeveless dress. And she's smiling. Lovely. So, yeah, that's photo 1. Photo 2. So, this is leaving the bridal prep room. As I walked out the room, I could see there was a nice set of stairs. So, sometimes I stand above and I make that decision. I have to make a quick decision thinking, am I going to stand above and do the stereotypical, all the girls walking down, you're shooting from above, which I love doing photos like that, but I've done it quite a lot. There was this one window, again, you can see how dark it is. I've exposed for that one window light that's literally hitting Matilda's face. And I framed it. I wanted to frame it, again, this with a 35mm, f2.5, 200 per second, ISO, I think around 1600. I just wanted to expose some highlights hitting her face that she looks really happy. Again, showcasing a bit of her dress details. She's got that lovely winter wedding coat on, a wedding coat. I think it is. I'm sounding really stupid at the moment, but yeah, that was like an accessory for a wedding dress, like a jacket over a wedding dress, but went with the dress really well. And I could have chose to step up. Well, I'm literally standing right in the corner of the stairs with my back against the wall, so I couldn't have moved further back. If I could have, I might have got this shot and then moved backwards if I had time, but that was the only shot I could get. And I actually prefer it that the girls, no offence to them, that their faces aren't in it. I've got plenty of photos with all the bridesmaids in, but this is all about Matilda. But you can see in the left corner there that there's people helping her downstairs, and I just love the reaction of her smiling and laughing. I've got a GoPro video behind the scenes bit of this bit, and I think I might have been talking to him, having a bit of a joke with him. I can't remember what we were talking about. But the main thing I love is the fact that the flowers, again, going back to the details, I don't want to put flowers at a window, the stereotypical wedding photo shot. I've got it in action, and that the flowers are a big part of this photo. So that's what I loved about it. But yeah, frame pretty much filled, happy face, flowers, detail of the dress, nice light, exposing for the highlights, which I do in all my photos most of the time. Third photo. So again, 35mm, you can probably tell that. I'm probably now, when I'm outside, I normally, most of the time it's good light, so I shoot at sort of f2.8 to 3.2, just giving that bit of extra depth because things move so quick. I'm not obsessed with shallow depth of field. I think it's overused personally. Most cinematographers will shoot at 2.8 to 3.2. So we're walking down the road to the church, and I could see this man ahead, and it really caught my eye with his bike. He had like a vintage bike, as you can see, and I love anything vintage. And this man, he might have been, to me, he looks Italian or Spanish. He looks like the type of man you'd see. Like, I've been Italy quite a few times, Venice and Rome, Florence, and the type of old people that I love seeing walking around doing their day-to-day tasks. And he stopped. He could have carried on biking. He wasn't in the way. The girls were on the footpath, and he just stopped. And as you can see, he's got his camera phone out. And I really loved that. I loved that he see Matilda, and it really made him happy to see that. The story for that man, he could have been looking at Matilda thinking it looked like his daughter on her wedding day, or his wife, maybe. But the bit that caught my eye was the fact how he just looked so happy to see him. So I quickly went to the right side of Matilda and waited for them to come into frame, because I could have just took a photo of the man on his own, but it wouldn't tell any story. I wanted to fill the frame using the rule of thirds. Matilda's just come in, so I'm focused on the man on the bike. Waited for about 20 seconds before Matilda caught up with me, because I was walking ahead, so I could always see what's going on. When I walk from a bridal prep to church, I always want to see other things that are going on before they happen, so I can then position myself. So that's what I've done here. Waited, and then Matilda walks in the frame. You can just see she's smiling a bit, but the main focus is the gentleman on the bike. Next photo. So this is the only one that is on an 85mm. I love this moment because Matt, as you can see, is crying, and the bit of light from that church. There's just, a typical church venue. There's just lovely bits of window light coming through different places. Luckily, it's hitting them quite nice. It lights up Matilda quite well. But mainly, the main thing I love is Matt's tissue handkerchief. It's really illuminated that to show the detail. But again, I could have moved a bit closer. I don't like moving around too much on a church wedding. I was on an 85mm. So I'd be shooting here at 1.2, because it's quite dark in there. But people are still, so I'm going to, as long as I focus on them and staying still, they're going to keep in focus. But I purposely framed, as you can see in the right corner there, that's, I believe, that's Matt's sister, like doing a speech. And just her hand showing, and that you can see the paperwork in front, that it's someone telling a speech, where if I just zoomed right in, chest up, I'd get in the moment and it'd still be a lovely photo. But I really like the depth and the filling the frame again, which is what I prefer doing. So even if I'm shooting on an 85mm, I step back a little bit more so I can get people in frame. Next photo. This is outside the church. The reason I love it, and I entered it, a stereotypical confetti throw is your tunnel of people. And I'm not criticising people for doing this, because pretty much every wedding is like that. A lot of the time you don't even get to do it. The venue organised that. But because the church, the way it was, there's people on the right side. You can see that lady's hand just coming in. And I thought, so as they're about to come out, I had enough time to think about it. And I thought, I don't want to just be in front of. If I go back more and have like a leading line aspect from the left of the people, so you've got the lady right in front of me with her arm, the man in front of her with his arm, and you sort of follow them, and then it leads to Matt and Matilda, and then Matilda just looks beautiful in it. I mean, that's nothing to do with me. That's just her. She looks amazing. What she's wearing, her big smile, looks so happy, and the confetti again. That ain't on me. That's the people doing a good job. All of the guests throwing it at the exact time. But the positioning was down to me, But I had enough time to think about it, so I'm not going to say I only had 10 seconds, and I was really, really impressed of how I thought quick on the spot. I had enough time. But yeah, I love the colours, and as you see some flowers in the background and the confetti, and it just works really well. 35mm. All of the I keep repeating it, but all the photos now will be on a 35mm Fujifilm X100V. This would have been shot at 2.8, 3.2. It would have been a fast shutter speed. ISO would have only been at 160. I think the lowest on X100V. So yeah, that's that one. Right, this one I absolutely love. This is one of my favourite photos I took that year. So we're outside the church. We're about to walk down to the Thames, the River Thames, to go on a boat, which you'll see photos in a bit. And Matilda and Matt are just mingling. I don't, with my documentary style, I do a few group photos, but I just say to the bride and groom, just go see everyone, go mingle with them, and then that will be my equivalent of a group photo. I'll capture people cuddling you, kissing you, crying with you, smiling with you, just natural photos. So everyone, I've put my back now to everyone's behind me, so there's about 100 people behind me. this was so perfect in the moment. So the little girl in the little blue dress, she's not part of the wedding. She was walking with her mum to, she's probably been to a Disney princess party, a birthday party, or fancy dress, or maybe she just wanted to, my little girl sometimes has days when she wants to put on one of her Disney dresses and she goes for a walk. And they were walking along, and they obviously see the wedding. They stopped to look, like you would. But the bit that caught my eye, I'm waiting, I'm seeing that they're looking, and I had time to quickly walk around and get Matilda on the right side of the frame of the rule of thirds, and I wanted to frame it to show this little girl looking at her. Within that moment, I got plenty of photos when they're just looking, which is still a lovely photo. I supplied that photo, but then, like the whole street photography rule, sometimes getting a composition and waiting for something to happen instead of just walking away and not being patient. I thought if I could get a moment when the little girl looks really smiling or whatever, but that was actually better. The girl looking on, and her mum went down and whispered in her ear, and she could have been whispering to her, oh, that'll be you one day. She's really beautiful. She looks like a Disney princess. I don't know what was going on, but that's the whole point of documentary wedding photography. You're showing a photo, and we can all look at things differently and think of what's going on in that frame. And I don't know, I swear I went and joke. I went and spoke to the little girl after and said, I said to her, you look like a Disney princess or whatever, but we didn't really talk. But yeah, that's why I love that moment. X100V again, 35mm if I didn't mention that earlier. Right, this is the crazy photo that will never happen again in my lifetime, unless I go back to this venue and we were there at the same time with this man. So we're walking along, this is along the River Thames in London, and I'm walking at the front, so there's 100 people here, all the people you can see behind Matilda, and it goes further than that, are all part of the wedding party. I'm walking ahead with one of the, I think he was a groomsman, I can't remember, he might not have been, but he had a big flag, like so everyone could see that this is where you need to go, so the wedding party could follow. We were at the front. Again, I wanted to be in front of everyone, so I could always get, Matilda was at the front and Matt, so I always wanted them as part of the frame. And we looked ahead, and there was a naked man walking along the street, and I'm not even over exaggerating, you can see him there on the left of the frame. I haven't photoshopped that, I promise you, that actually happened. So he's got his rucksack on with a t-shirt or jumper around his neck, and he's completely naked, just walking along. To be honest, he was a young bloke, and he was ripped. He had a good body on him. I don't know what was going on. I either think he just left. He was at a rave all night and he was peeled up. I don't know. Or apparently nearby. This is in Richmond, I think. I think what I've heard that there is nearby a nude festival. I might be wrong. You might be able to tell me that in the comments. But he was happily walking along, and there was thousands of people on this bank. There's pubs along here, which you'll see in a minute, another photo with loads of people looking at Matilda. He was walking along like nothing, like there was no difference. Crazy. But yeah, so I've seen it, and I've quickly ran ahead to get the frame of the reaction of the wedding party. And as you can see here, Matilda is literally gobsmacked. Matt's sister to the right here, Dory, whose wedding I'm actually doing next year in America. Thank you, Dory, for booking me. She just looks like a bit like, what is going on here? Is this actually happening? Matt's laughing a bit. But crazy, yeah. This one I love. We're queuing for the boat on the Thames, and I was watching these two gents, and I've got it as a GoPro footage on my behind the scenes video. If you look at on my YouTube channel, you'll see it, Matt and Matilda behind BTS of their wedding, and you'll see this moment. And the sun was really harsh in their face, so they're using the church cards, I think, It's got Matt and Matilda's name on, you can see. And I was waiting for them both to do it at the same time so I could get this, this quite street photo, I suppose, of a moment. But what I loved, going back to earlier about details, I've captured a detail as well. So, the Matt and Matilda card, as you can see, they're holding from the church, and it's got all the information on of the day. I love that. Instead of just taking a photo of it sitting on a bench, the card just there, and you take a photo of someone's holding it and they're using it to protect themselves from the sun. So that's what caught my eye, and I had to sort of wait for them to both do it at the same time. And I quickly, literally ran in close with a 35mm. I'm so close to these, the man at the front. I wanted to completely fill the frame. Everything else going around in that frame was just people talking. It wouldn't have been as good. I thought I really want to get up close in their faces and get this shot. So 35mm, X100V, 2.8, 3.2, fast shutter speed, ISO 160. Next photo. This is on the boat. I love this one because I'm walking outside on the decking of the boat, and there was plenty of it was just a lovely day, beautiful summer's day. I say that, it weren't summer, it was October, but it was a lovely day. It was really beautiful sunshine that day. And there was, people on canoes, kayaks, boats going past. And every time I see one of these boats come past, I watched them. Some people didn't even pay attention, but I thought, hopefully one of them looked. And and luckily this gentleman on the boat waved. I don't know who he's waving at. It might be someone off frame. But I wanted to frame it so you can see some of the guests on the boat just enjoying themselves. They're having a drink, as you can see, at the front of the frame. And then the focus is the man in the back with the boat waving. It works better in black and white because it illuminates him more. You can see his hand quite, with the light hitting him, his face and hand waving. 35mm again, pretty much same settings, X100V. This is quite a basic shot really, but it's a nice moment. I think the main reason I love this photo and I entered it, I don't know why, the expression of the lady in the glasses, I don't know, I love what she's doing. They're having a moment together. It's one of the bridesmaids on the left, and they're sort of holding hands and dancing together. And, and there's obviously a story there. They obviously know each other, and they might not have seen each other for a long time because there was a lot of different people that just went in from different countries. But it was just her expression, her glasses, and she just really popped to me. But the reason I loved it, because I love getting close, and I'm up close here with a 35mm, and I just love that you've got the bridesmaid on the left, and then her hand leads down, and it's like a sort of near to sort of a V shape, and then it just goes to the other lady. Another one, from 2 photos ago. Love this one. I purposely wanted Matilda and Matt in this frame to show the story that you can see it's a bride on her wedding day. They're just looking down at their phone, I think, looking at stuff that's been taken during the day. And I just see these 2 gentlemen on their paddle boards. He's nothing doing anything particular, he's not doing anything funny, but he's looking. You can see he's having a look what's going on. I love that the glasses that are in the frame, people, having constant champagne on the go, putting it down, and it's just 2 different stories. You've got a story of a bride and groom on their wedding day, and then 2 gentlemen doing their daily or weekend exercise together. I'm sure they would have gone to the pub after to have a beer, but 35mm again, X100V, exposed for the light outside. Probably raised the shadows a little bit in the foreground. I think I did. Otherwise, they would have been in quite darkness because I've obviously exposed for the lights outside. But that's that one. This one, this one. I wanted to show. I wanted to get at least one photo of the. Is it a boat drive? The. Oh my god, I've gone blank. The man driving the boat. He's obviously got an official name, and I've gone absolutely blank. Him. I'm going to say that after this, I'm going to sound right tit. I'm going to be like, why have I said that? But I wanted to focus, try and step back as much as I could at the end of the boat. Again, I could have just zoomed in on an 85mm and just showed the man, the captain driving the boat, but it's just boring. I want to feel the frame. So I just waited in this position. I put my camera up high above my head and put the screen down so I could see. And I just framed it with people, just in the left foreground, just people talking. I like that it's a man with sunglasses on. It sort of looks like someone out of Reservoir Dogs. They're just chatting. They're not doing anything special, nothing out of the ordinary. But it's the fact that I waited for that moment, and I got the captain doing what he's doing. He's doing something with his left hand, maybe looking at sat-nav or GPS. I sound like such an idiot. But I wanted one photo of, of a wide shot of showing the captain on the boat, what's going on. I would love to have got Matilda in that shot, but she's obviously everywhere talking to different people. She might have been inside at that point. You can't always get everything you want to get. You do the best you can. But I also like the leading lines, a little bit of the properties, the flats or buildings to the left side there. That really works well as well, I thought. But yeah, that's that one. X100V again, if I didn't say it. I love this one. For this one, we've got off the boat. We've walked past some boozer, some pub in London. A lot of people sitting out here. And this was October. This is the crazy thing. And there's blokes here in shorts. But it was warm that day. But yeah, I ran ahead of Matilda because I could see all these people sitting outside having a beer. And I was like, they're going to blatantly cheer for her, hopefully. And they did. I mean, you see the lovely gentleman in the middle there. The Asian fella with the glasses on, he's really smiling, and you can see he's clapping. His mate next to him on the left is clapping. And then the women in the back as well, they're just looking and smiling. They're just like, in awe of a bride, how beautiful she looks. But this worked only with being close with a 35mm. If I went backwards and got Matilda head to toe, you wouldn't see the detail and expression of the people as much in the background, and they were the main focus. But I got them in, I locked on focus and stood still and waited for Matilda to enter the frame, and I wanted her to be waist up, and I loved that her flowers, again, that's luck, I didn't ask her to do that, she's holding her flowers up, and I loved that. You can see she's a bride, but the flowers makes it even better. X100V again, 35mm. I think I said it, but there you go. Right, this is challenging here because literally this is outside, pitch black by now, and they're doing the speeches outside. Fortunate for me, the only light here, I don't use any flash until the dance floor. The light illuminating Dory, who's booked me for a wedding in America, on the left side of the frame, and Matilda and the guest, Matt, and a few other girls at the front there, they're being illuminated by, to the left side of Dory, there's a massive big stand, one of them outdoor heaters, so bright. So that was all that was illuminating their faces. A lot of these photos were in black and white because the white balance there was so much, different colours, and it just didn't work. I obviously supplied some colour, but the black and white worked better. But the moment here, so all of the party are down below us, and the speech, whoever was doing the speech went up the stairs and like on a balcony and looked down at everyone, which I thought was quite cool. So I mixed it up, I'd walk down to the bottom deck, the lower level, and take photos. But a lot of the time I was up because I wanted to frame the speech, the person giving the speech. And this one was perfect, frames filled, 35mm. I wanted the person giving the speech in the left frame, and it's all about Matilda's reaction. As you can see, she's wiping the tears away from her face. I've got plenty of other photos of this frame where she's laughing, smiling, just looking, listening, but that was the one I wanted to enter because it shows a moment of her crying. So yeah, love that photo. This one, funny man. I got talking to him a bit, actually. We had a beer together. He was from Fulham. He was a Fulham fan, Fulham Football Club, and he was a proper old school. The way he spoke, he was, he was funny. He was so funny, and we was having a beer together. I obviously told him I was a West Ham fan, so we got that in common. That's got nothing to do with this photo. I'm just telling you what the man was like. But I suppose it does connect a little bit. You know, you can probably sum up this man's personality, and he's a proper, as you can see, a party boy. He loved it. There's a circle here going on, and he jumped in and just, you know, going mental to whatever song was on. Good playlist that night. Good, proper good music. You know, my type of music. And it was just his reaction, you know, the way he's pointing and shouting. He looks a bit like the main character from Up. You know, his name's gone blank. Mr. Fredrickson, isn't it? I think. It just reminded me of him a little bit with his glasses on. It just made me laugh. But yeah, 35mm. I've got an on-camera flash now, bounce flash. So the settings now will be at f2.5, 3200 ISO, and the flash power was probably at like 1/64. I try not go any powerful than that because it takes longer to recharge the flash, and I don't like washing out people's faces with flash. You know, I try and, hence why I put my ISO up to 3200. I'd rather incorporate as much ambient light and just put a little bit of flicker on the flash just to fill in the shadow of the subject. But yeah, 35mm again, in close to capture that moment. Yeah, I love this one. Again, same settings, X100V, bounce flash still on, pointing up, 3200 ISO, 200 per second shutter speed, 2.8 aperture. I like, as much as I can during the day, mixing up high low shots. I always got told by some of the best documentary photographers that the best documentary photographers, you don't know how tall they are. And it's so true, because if I done all my photos at eye level, they'd all be the same. So I try and, you know, I get safe shots, and then I, you know, be a bit quirky, I suppose, and go high, go low. And this one, I'm right below him. You know, I'm down on my knees looking up at him. That sounds very weird. I've just said that. There was nothing funny going on in here, I can promise you. But yeah, he's just having a good time. He's having a dance. But I love that his shirt's undone. You can see a bit of sweat on him from a good time. He's probably burnt about 1,000 calories that night, giving it the big one on the dance floor. But yeah, but this wouldn't work with not being close with a 35mm. I love that his hand is right in my face. Like his hand is like nearly touching my camera. He didn't even know I took that photo. You know, you can see he's sort of looking down. He's off his head. I think he's pretty drunk. Yeah, so that's just a funny moment. This one I love all of them. But yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I'll always be honest on this channel. I missed the. I think I might have the photo. I don't know actually. I tell a lie. I might have got the photo of them. They've done a shot of tequila or something, and I know how it is having a shot of tequila. That's my reaction. Makes me gag. Gets you off your nut, and I love having the buzz of it, but it's bloody horrible. So yeah, they've just done shots, and Matilda's obviously gagging a bit, and her mate behind her, she gave her the shot, so she's laughing. And I know, we all know what that's like. You know, one of your mates goes, "Here, have one of these," and they watch your reaction, gagging, and they're laughing. So yeah, just a funny moment from the bar. Again, 35mm X100V. Still got the bounce flash on. The man on the right is the man from 2 photos ago, when I went low. This is only at eye level. It's just, these two were just cracking me up all night. They loved the dance floor. Always had a drink in their hand, a whiskey or a beer or wine or champagne, or so they got off their nut. And I just love his reaction. I love the man, you know, on the left, the way he's dancing. And the man on the right, yeah, if I'm being critical of it myself, if I step back a little bit more, I could have got the man on the right, his hand in, and I think he's like rubbing the sweat off of his head. But it still works, you know. I've entered it. It obviously done well. It won part of the award, so yeah. You know, you can always do better. You know, I'll always look at my photos and think, oh, I wish I'd done this more, got in closer, or not as close. But that's something I'm always learning, and I'll always come in here and be honest about that and criticise my own photos, so you can learn from it as well. X100V again, 35mm. Sound like a broken record. Last 2 photos. This has gone a lot longer than I wanted. It's just I thought this might take 10-15 minutes, and it's not, because I've got to talk about it. Next time I probably will shorten it down and just talk about 10 photos, not 20. But these are all part of the award, so right, I need to go a bit quicker now. Yeah, love that again. What it's talking about, like different, not knowing how tall the photographer is. This one I've gone right down on my knees again, and I just there was a moment, Matilda, as you can see, the whole point of this photo is it shows the bride. You can see it's a bride's dress, and I was doing a little circle, doing the typical putting your hey, like probably like to Irish dancing, happens at every wedding, but they was all really close, which I like. Normally it's a big circle, so you just get the classical stereotypical straight line of people's feet, but I loved how close they were, so I quickly got in between them. I became part of their circle. There's them 4 people there, and I burst shot it, and I just got this moment that I love where Matilda's dressed, the way it's on her left side, but your right side, what you're looking at, the way her dress is sort of flowing, and I love that her foot comes forward. It shows again what we spoke about earlier. I don't need to put shoes up at a window and do these stereotypical cheesy, in my opinion, rubbish wedding photos when you put shoes at the window. It's boring, everyone does it. Capture details like that, capture details in action. I've got purposely gone knee down here. It's all about the dress detail, the bottom of the dress and her shoes, but it should also showing the moment, people dancing, people having a good time, which is what a wedding should be about. Same settings as before, X100V, 35mm, close up, bounce flash, 3200 ISO. This is right at the end of the night, so I've said before, I stay right to the end because I want moments like this. You wouldn't be able to capture moments like this if you didn't stay till the end. This is literally 5-10 minutes before they were leaving, and I think this is Matilda's nan, or it might be Matt's nan, I can't remember, but I just watched I could see that she was making her rounds, this lady, saying bye to everyone, so I followed her, and I was waiting. I've got a few photos of her saying bye to other people, but the most important person is Matilda, so I wanted that moment of her saying bye to Matilda, and it was perfect. The way she puts her hand on her left shoulder, and Matilda's hand is over, as you can see, the lady's hand, left hand, is on Matilda's upper chest, and Matilda's got her hand on that. And I always say to people, as soon as there's hand contact, if someone puts your hand on their shoulder, you can see that person loves that person. They don't need to be cuddling, they don't need to be crying, they don't need to be kissing. I love all that, but there's also moments like this that you can look out for when that means a lot. And you can see the lady, the way she's looking in her eyes, they're having this moment together, just like, I did it, I'm so proud of you. A picture says 1,000 words, and that does that in this photo. I don't need to interfere. I'm close up with a 35mm, but not right in their faces, otherwise this shot would be their throat up, if I was with a 35mm, the moment was there for that. I took that shot and then I walk away. I don't want to interfere with anything. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed all that. It's gone on for far too much longer than I thought, but I will do chapters, as you can see. When I publish this video, there'll be chapters at the bottom, so you don't need to watch every single photo. Have a look and see what ones that appeal to you, and hopefully I've explained each photo of how I work. That's the most important thing. It ain't about the tech. I know I covered, it took me 5 seconds to go 2.8, 3200 ISO, 200 per second, done. I don't need to go into any more depth than that. The most important thing is that, what did I see? What was I looking at? What made me make that decision to be in that position, to use a 35mm over an 85mm, to go low, to go high, to put the camera up high above me, to go down on my knees, to run ahead, to what made me fill that frame instead of being in closer, what made me not being as close and take a step back. There's a good mixture of photos there where there's head to toe shots, waist up shots, and even a bit tighter. But apart from the one photo, they're all with 35mm, which is something I've spoke about before. If you stay consistent on one photo, one camera and one lens all day, you'll get better photos. It'll be you stay consistent and telling a story, And if you're staying at 35mm or 24mm, 18mm, use your feet then. You know, you're not relying on standing still. I find that boring personally. I like moving around and just constantly moving, you know, and looking for stuff and having to work hard, like go low, go high, you know, climb up on a balcony, you know, and to get the shot, instead of relying on a zoom lens and just doing it all for, you know, and it don't look the same anyway. You know, that's just my opinion. I think 35mm photos look a million times better. And that's me critiquing my 35mm photos to my 85mm. I'm not criticising other photographers. I'm on about my work. I prefer my 35mm photos to my 85mm. Hence why I use the 35mm 95% of the day. I'll only use the 85mm now when I have to, when I've got no choice to use it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This is one of my first for this one. 42 minutes long by the time this ends now. Bit too long. But next time I'll just pick 5, no more than 10 photos to go through and critique, and then talk about each one, so you can learn how I took that photo and why I took that photo. But it was a story award, so I wanted to show all 20 photos that I entered. I didn't want to cut any out. It'd be hard to cut any out because I wouldn't know what ones to cut out. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. You've learned something from it. You know, comment in the comment section if there's anything I've missed out that you want to know. I'll always happily talk to people in the comment section, even about spec stuff. I'm not an expert by no means whatsoever on tech spec, you know, but I'll try my best to answer the questions if you have any. But yeah, hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll be posting this Saturday morning, so yeah, it is the weekend when you're listening to it. Have a lovely Christmas, everyone, and I'll speak to you next week, hopefully. See you later.